He cashed out $38,000 in counterfeit casino chips across 3 tables. The UV light ended it in 4 seconds. Over 6 weeks at a Las Vegas casino, one player converted counterfeit $100 chips into cash across 32 separate cash-out sessions. The total, $38,000. The method required access to a chip mold and casino-grade composite resin. He had both. He had worked in casino chip manufacturing for 11 years before being laid off during a vendor consolidation. Casino chips, more complex than they appear but less secure than currency. High-denomination chips, $500 and above, contain RFID transponders that the casino tracks through readers embedded in the table felt. Every $500 chip that enters or leaves a table registers in the casino's inventory system in real time. Counterfeit's a $500 chip, and the RFID absence triggers an alert the moment it touches the table. He knew this. He manufactured $100 chips, the highest denomination that does not require RFID. He matched the weight of authentic chips within 0.3 grams using a precision gram scale, the same type of scale he had operated for 11 years on the manufacturing floor. He matched the clay composite color and the surface texture using a formula he had memorized from his employment. The chips were visually indistinguishable from authentic ones under normal light. There was one element he could not replicate, the UV reactive ink embedded in the denomination stripe. Casino chips manufactured for major properties contain a proprietary UV fluorescent compound mixed directly into the stripe paint. The formula is held by the chip manufacturer and is not disclosed to casino staff or contractors. Under a UV light, authentic chips fluoresce a specific color for this casino's $100 denomination, yellow-green. He could not reproduce the compound without the manufacturer's proprietary mix. His strategy accounted for this. He limited each cash-out session to a maximum of 12 chips, staying below the 20-chip threshold that triggers the cage's serial number batch check against the day's table issuance log. Counterfeit chips have no serial number in the casino system. Below 20 chips, the serial check does not run. He spread sessions across 3 different table areas on different days and used different cage windows each time. He ran the operation for 6 weeks, 32 sessions, $38,000 in counterfeit chips successfully converted to cash. Operational costs, $4,200 materials, composite resin, mold maintenance, chip moldware, and a precision scale. Net proceeds, $33,008. The collapse came from outside the algorithm entirely. On the 5th week, a cage cashier, 4 years on the job, trained in counterfeit detection, noticed that one chip felt different when she picked it up. The weight was within tolerance, the color was correct, the surface texture was correct. She ran a UV counterfeit detection pen across the denomination stripe. It is a 4-second procedure, standard practice for any cashier trained in the counterfeit protocol. Authentic $100 chips fluoresce yellow-green. The chip in her hand fluoresced white. She set the chip aside and completed the cash out, $1,100 across 9 chips, without alerting the player. She handed him the cash and marked the counterfeit chip with a small scratch on the edge using her thumbnail. She called the cage supervisor immediately after the player stepped away from the window. The supervisor called surveillance. Surveillance did not intervene that night. They needed the footage archive. The surveillance team pulled records from every cage window and every table camera for the prior 32 days. They used the player's physical description from the week 5 cash-out footage and tracked backward. They identified him in footage from 29 of the 32 sessions. They cross-referenced with the cage receipt database. Every cash out under $1,200, never more than 12 chips. 3 different cage windows, 3 different table areas. The investigation was complete in 11 days. On day 11, he arrived at the casino for what would have been session 33. The surveillance supervisor notified the detective on call. 2 casino security officers in plainclothes and a Nevada Gaming Control Board detective met him at the cage window. The body cam begins when he places 9 chips on the cage counter. The cashier, the same cashier from week 5, runs the UV pen across all 9 chips in sequence. All 9 fluoresce white. She looks up at him. He's not moved. The detective steps to the right of the window and identifies himself. The interview lasted 3 hours and 6 minutes. He confirmed the manufacturing location, a workshop bench in his garage, and the source of the chip mold. The mold had been cast using authentic chips he took during his final weeks of employment at the manufacturing facility, 4 years before the operation began. He had planned it for 4 years. The math, 32 sessions, $38,000 in counterfeit chips cashed, $4,200 in materials, $33,800 net. Federal charges filed, counterfeiting gaming instruments, wire fraud, and possession of instruments of fraud. Nevada Gaming Control Board added 32 state counts of obtaining money by false pretenses, 1 per cash-out session. He pleaded guilty to the federal counterfeiting charge and 6 states counts. Sentence, 36 months federal prison, 3 years supervised release, $38,000 restitution to the casino. What changed? UV pen checks now apply to all cash-outs above $500, not just suspected counterfeits. The cage cashier who flagged the chip received a written commendation and was promoted to cage supervisor 4 months later. Her 4-second UV check is now the reference procedure in the Nevada Gaming Control Board's counterfeit detection training manual. The RFID system would have caught $500 chips in 2 seconds. He chose $100 to avoid it. The UV stripe was the one countermeasure he could not replicate. The 4-second check found what 4 years of planning and $38,000 in proceeds could not bypass. The UV light ended it. It always does. New case every day. Subscribe for the verdict. Tomorrow, the next number behind the casino